Hey bitches, welcome to Bella and the Dancer, a podcast hosted by two best friends who will fearlessly explore a range of topics, leaving no subject off the table.
Join us as we dive into engaging conversations and take you on an unfiltered journey through diverse subjects. Let's go! Yay! Oh, no! Hi, I'm Jordyn.
And I'm Neil, and this is episode 4.
Welcome back, everybody.
And we have very special guests for this one.
We do.
Would you like to introduce this person?
I would love to introduce this person. I would love to introduce my favourite person in the whole entire world, my husband, Daniel James.
That was a surprise. I was expecting Beyonce on that.
No, it's you, Angel.
No, thank you.
It's always you.
I'm happy to be here.
Great.
I really appreciated the invite that Neil extended to us.
Oh, righto. Now, I've been looking forward to getting you on the podcast as well because I think you'll have a lot of insight into, well, actually, this podcast episode is a little bit out of my hands. I've got no idea what's about to happen because we can't, I can't be biased, you know, so we've just got to let it unfold with Uncle Neil and producer Paige and see what they've got in store for you. What do you reckon? Should we get into it?
Well, we're just going to start off with some just random questions. Just like, you know, to get to know you. Obviously, like so many people do know you, but actually know you.
Well, yeah, I actually don't think that many people know me
You're quite famous.
anymore.
Everyone.
Anymore.
Well, no, because I used to be around the studio a lot more
He did.
back in the early days when there wasn't quite as many people around. But now, like, I kind of just turn up at shows. And then I do see a lot of looks from people being like, who is this person who's just randomly walking around backstage? So.
No, but I think Jordyn posts you enough for people to know.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Anyone who follows me on my
Yeah.
personal account would know. Jordyn
Yeah.
Lee James.
Jordyn Lee James.
Subscribe now.
Yeah,
Alright.
okay, questions.
Ready?
I'm happy.
What's your favourite trip you've ever taken?
Probably New York. Yeah, I really like New York.
Yeah?
I've always said that's probably somewhere that I could live.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I'm a city boy. Well, I wasn't born city boy, but I spent a lot of time in Manchester growing up. So
Yeah.
I'm used to busier lifestyle and having everything a bit more accessible.
Yeah. Which is a bit different too.
And then a bit different to the Sunshine Coast as well.
Yeah.
I have a lot of issues with retail on the Sunshine Coast, but we won't even.
Like they're all retail.
Yes,
There's
pretty
one
much.
main centre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I really enjoyed New York. I've been there twice. Once when I was 16, and the other time with Jordyn.
Yeah, that was our first holiday together, wasn't it? I knew that he loved me then. Do you want me to tell you why, Uncle Neil? Are you
Yeah,
ready
tell
for the
me.
back?
You've told me
Ready?
stories about New York
Okay.
like this holiday. So
No, well, it was the holiday in general. So it was New York where did we start? Did we start in the UK first or New York?
UK first. 'cause
UK
it was
first.
for Pat's wedding.
And we just basically started seeing each other, and he was a groomsman in this wedding, which was a whole nother year further down the track. And when we first started seeing each other, he said, I'd love for you to come to this wedding with me as my date. 12 years down there. I was like, this is a shoe in this relationship. This is my life partner. He's asked me to a wedding that's 12 months away. Yeah, you must be into me. That's what I was thinking. And I was right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was 50-50. We were still going to be together by that point. And you just take someone else if it falls through. don't you? So,
refundable name change.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, New York. I love it.
Awesome. What's on your bucket list? Say top 3 things on your bucket list.
Oh, that's a good one, Uncle Neil.
Oh, Jesus. I think a weird one, it's not a weird one. I think a lot of people have this one, but just to have a lot of money at some point. I mean, that's a nice little...
People don't like talking about it,
No.
but you got to put it out there.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah. I would like to travel just to a few different countries. I definitely don't want to do the whole travel thing where you just pack up and leave for
12 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not interested in doing that at all. But just going to see a few different places. Specifically, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But
there's no certain destinations you want to go to?
No. I think there's a few different locations that you see through social media or in movies. And it's like, that'd be a nice place to go.
I'm always so nervous about the social media ones because it's like you see people, social media versus reality.
Yeah,
It's like 1,000 people at like the Leaning Tower of Pisa and they're all doing the same thing.
Yeah. And you never know what they've cut out and what's the genuine truth of the area that they're in. So, third one, children and another dog.
Children and another dog. I love that we say that, like, and fingers are crossed she's around forever, but like Frankie's going to be in our life forever.
Yeah, I know. I don't even really want to think about it.
I know. That's a good one though. Children and another dog.
Yeah, I kind of put them level, even though parents are probably watching this thinking you're a fucking idiot. But I don't know. It's a fur baby.
It's our fur baby. She's our firstborn child.
I think I know what type of dog you want to get as well. I think we've had this discussion. You
Which
want
one?
a Burmese mountain dog?
Really want.
Well, that's the compromise dog.
Yeah.
That's the compromise dog.
Yeah.
Well, and we'd still probably have to get that in a Bernedoodle form because I've got allergies, you see. So I can't have anything that loses hair.
It's just high maintenance.
Yeah.
So we're a bit restricted on the type of dog that we could actually...
Something cross poodle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think number one on my list would be like a Belgian Malinois. But it's a very high maintenance dog.
High training. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Not like Frankie.
Not like Frankie.
Complete opposite of Frankie.
Well, I think that's the big thing as well, like having another dog that's a bit more dominant and assertive.
Yeah.
So it can kind of look after Frankie a little bit.
Yeah. When Frankie gets a bit older, she's going to need that.
Well, even now, she's just so soft. Like any dog that comes over to her, she's...
Rolls on her back.
Yeah, just too submissive. She's never good, but yeah.
And the last one for the quick fire. What advice would you give 18-year-old Dan?
Oh, these are good ones,
really good
Unky
question.
Neil. I'm glad I'm not on the receiving end of these questions. You really thought hard about these. They're good ones.
See, this one for me is actually quite an easy one because I would never say regret, but I think something that I did that could have been changed was probably sticking to something a bit more like career-wise. So getting into something younger and then just spending more time doing that.
Yeah.
Because I did bounce around job-wise up until a couple of years ago. So, I mean, that's a good 10, 15 years of doing different jobs and not really progressing in one particular field. So I think that would be the biggest...
I think it's so different now, though.
Yeah.
Because how old are you now?
33, turning 34.
Yeah, see, that's still so young. Like, people have so many career changes now.
They do.
Like, you don't need... Because before it used to be work at one place, get your tenure, and, like, you just keep going. And whether you hated it or loved it, it was a paycheck at the end of every week.
Well, I think I always look back and I have that... You always have those direct comparisons, right, of people that you know that have been to university and stuck with that one career throughout the whole life, and then they're at a certain point in their life in that career where whether they're financially stable or doing very well, but they have that sense of progression as well, like that achievement. Whereas I think I do look back on a bit of the work that I've done, and I've definitely gotten a lot of life experience from it, but I never really got that sense of achievement or accomplishment from any particular area that I've worked in. So, yeah, I think that would have been the main bit of advice I would give. Just
something a bit more.
Yeah, like I studied engineering when I was younger.
Jesus.
But I like
that explains it.
But I didn't really enjoy it. There's different elements of engineering. I think I could have just stuck with it, and who
knows? Did your parents push you to study?
Well, when I left high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. my stepdad said, well, why don't you give engineering a go? Because that's what he did in the military. So he was a mechanical engineer. And I was like, yeah, why not? I mean, I'll give it a crack and see how I go. I mean, it was okay. Just as you start getting further and further into higher education, things get more difficult. And then you realize that more has to go into it. Like, you have to really enjoy what you're doing in order to put in time outside of time in the classroom. So it just got to that point where I was like, I don't enjoy this. This isn't fun at all. But I think everyone that goes through university or higher education gets to that stage where they're like, is this really for me?
I've seen so many people like become teachers, like become like in certain fields, and then like even when I was hiring for like Woolies and stuff like that, people like in their 40s, in their 50s going, I just want to be a checkout operator.
Yeah.
I need to switch off from the world.
Yeah.
We've said that before,
I'm
haven't
like,
we, Uncle Neil?
yeah.
Like, flirt with the idea of being able to go to work, chat to people on the counter,
Yeah, literally.
and then have a great time and go home. And
Everyone's
switch
like,
off.
what's your retirement look like? And I was like, checkout operator.
Yeah.
If they still exist.
Yeah, that's true.
But that comes afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys have gotten to that point where you've built something in your own rights, and you've done exactly what I said that I would maybe do in another life. Of you've built something from scratch, do you know what I mean? And like built up over the years. So I think you can get to that point afterwards where you already have that sense of accomplishment. Yeah. And you've taken everything that goes along with it, and then realized, okay, it'd kind of be nice to just
not
hide
worry.
away from people a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, like
not worry about where the paycheck's coming from.
yeah,
whether
exactly.
that
Take the
invoice is being
stresses
paid.
away and just do something easy, right?
Yeah.
So I think that comes along with when you've already gone through that accomplishment, I guess.
But I think the things that you've accomplished as well, like being to New York twice, and sometimes I have to think about it, putting in perspective that there's some people that live their entire life and never leave
Australia.
the state.
Yeah, the state even.
The state.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I definitely get that with being in Australia because you're so far away. But the first time I went there, I was living in the UK. It's like a 5-hour flight over to New York. So, I mean, you're so close to everything. I think if you're living in Europe in general, you just get so used to having other countries be so accessible.
Yeah.
So I think travel is just a part of living over there. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate traveling, like getting to the destination, but it's the destination that gets me there.
Yeah.
I don't mind the traveling there because you know you're going somewhere.
It's the excitement.
It's the traveling back that's because you know you're
And
coming
poor
back to
Dan,
reality.
if anyone hasn't met my husband before, he is as wide as he is tall in the most handsome looking way. But it is it is very uncomfortable for him on a flight. And it doesn't matter what seat I'm in, I can recline back, I fall asleep, have a scotch, and I'm out. Whereas I'll like go to sleep for 4 hours and wake up, and the poor thing, you're still like stuck in the same position, stiff.
Yeah, sat next to random people as well. I always have to be quite conscious of making sure I'm not knocking into them and stuff. And
At least you care. There's so many people that do not care.
He's so mindful like that. Like we'll get on a flight, and if we've got like the window seat in the aisle, bless him, he'll always make sure who is going to be on the aisle seat to make sure that, you know, it's going to be somebody that I'm going to be comfortable sitting next to. Otherwise, he'll get in that seat and sit there for me, which is so nice. All right, Angel. So I know what I think is everything about you, but can you tell us, our listeners and all of our Belly and the Dancer fans, a little bit more about yourself? It's pretty broad, isn't it? Just anything.
Well, I was born in Hull in Yorkshire.
Yep.
In the year 1990.
Yeah.
On April the 2nd. Dodged April Fool's Day by 6 hours. So
You did.
that was quite lucky for me.
I think you're still in April Fool's.
As I've said this many times, I heavily dislike Paige. I don't know why she's around all the time. Yeah, so I was born in Hull in Yorkshire.
Is it actually called Hull?
Hull.
Hull. Oh,
Not
I
Hull.
thought you
We
said you were
say
born
like
in a
Hull.
hole.
We say Hull.
Oh, I'm so bad at the English.
Are you an only child?
Yes. You can't tell though, can you?
I think that explains a lot. But
What do they say? Only child syndrome. I mean,
You have it worse than me.
I don't. We always have this debate. I know how to share because I've got a sibling.
You get feisty at me when I don't share.
Tell us about when you moved here.
When did you
and
move to Australia?
Was that hard? Was it hard moving all the way from one country to another?
I thought it was hard at the time.
how old were you when you moved here?
20, 21?
With your parents?
Yeah. So the year before I came over, my parents came over for a holiday to visit my auntie and uncle. And then they came back because I didn't go with them. And then they came back and said, well, how do you feel about moving to Australia?
And you're 21.
Yeah.
So you could have made decisions to stay in the UK.
I could have, and I nearly did, which would have been the worst decision ever. And I think my parents gave me the reality check of, well, if we go, you're stuck here on your own,
Yeah.
and you either find your way still living here on your own, or you go and live with relatives back up north.
How different life would be if you had done that, hey?
Yeah, and I do look back at a lot of the people that I went to school with, and I don't know. I think economically, England just isn't the place to be if you want to get ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously exceptions to that, but just in general, the opportunities that you get out here, with it being such a new country in comparison, is so vast. Like, it's actually insane, especially how much money there is to be made.
And it's such the flip side of what we're brought up to.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
when we moved over to the UK, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So we ended up moving to the UK, working our asses off, coming back and having enough money saved up to do everything we wanted back in Australia.
Yeah,
converting
yeah.
that pound into the Australian dollar.
Yeah, well, the conversion rate was definitely quite good, but the pay when I was back there, so I was working at Nando's right before I moved, and we were getting paid £5.40 or £5.90, something like that per hour
Wow.
At 21.
at 21.
Crazy.
So yeah, the money was not good.
Where did you move to when they first came to Australia?
Bribey Island.
Sorry. I'm
That was a bit
laughing
of a stitch up.
because you don't like it. You're very honest about that. Well, but just before we go any further, Neil strongly does not like it as well. So what's a common thing that you two share?
It's just it's its own small little community, right? It's kind of detached from the rest of the world, and
It's detached from Australia.
yeah, well, physically it is because there's a bit, yeah.
It's so hard. I remember the first time going to Bribey Island, I was like, oh, this is amazing, Bribey Island.
really
People
beautiful.
talk about it, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Then I was like, why is it still half an hour off the Bruce Highway I have to get there?
Yeah.
And that was just the downfall from then on.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't.
Yeah.
for a 21-year-old as well, it's not really like moving to a whole new country to meet people and it's
Yeah, it's not exactly the.
And from the UK, from
Place to
London.
be.
the hustle and bustle. Into
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Coming from Manchester, where there's a lot going on, and going straight to somewhere like Bribey was a bit of a struggle.
People just don't believe it. If no one's been to the UK, they don't realise, buses run every 5 minutes. You don't run for a bus. You don't run for a tube.
No.
It's just something
Yeah.
will be there in 5 minutes, no matter what.
Yeah, you might miss something, but then 5-10 minutes later,
Yeah.
something else is coming through.
And then, the shopping, the stores.
Don't even get me started.
Don't.
Oxford Street, walking down, and everything's open till
Yeah.
super late.
Well, okay, so we had this conversation yesterday, and
Yeah, we did.
I've had this conversation a few times, but the thing that is wild to me is the fact that retail's longest hours aren't on the weekend.
Yep.
Because that is when everybody's off work. Like, if you want to make money and you have a store, you stay open longest when you know people have time off.
Yep.
I get there's penalty rates and stuff on the weekends, but why the hell would you choose to close early on a Saturday or a Sunday, knowing full well that's when everybody's willing to spend their money?
Yeah.
Which is not what happens in the UK. Like, in the UK on the weekends, shops are going to be open till at least 9 o'clock, even on a Sunday.
It's nuts. And you never expect the customer service in those stores because it's always your
That's one thing
younger
I
ones
noticed
working.
over there.
Like,
Yeah.
you can be standing around going, do you have this size? Like,
They just look like they don't want to be there.
They don't care. They're talking.
Yeah.
They're having the best time of their lives. But that was the thing. Like, I remember finishing work, like, say, 6 p.m., and you had hours. You could go have dinner and then head to the shops. You didn't have to, like, shit, I've only got 10 minutes to jump in and go get what I need.
Yeah.
And, like, Saturday, Sunday trade, like, you never were in a rush.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Yeah, we had a bit of a... Well, I had a bit of another rant about this.
You
yesterday.
did all over Golf World. All you wanted was your golf club.
I wanted a new club.
And we'd missed the time by 8 minutes. We got there at 3:08.
At 3 o'clock. I mean, seriously, guys.
Well, supermarkets on a Sunday, 6 p.m.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me. Like, when we first moved to Queensland, I think we moved up on a Sunday and we weren't stressing because, like, New South Wales, everything's open till 9.
They'll be open.
They'll
Go
be
get
open.
your food.
There was nothing. We just finished like a 14-hour drive.
You went
We were,
hungry
like,
for the night.
Hungry,
Yeah.
tired. And then there was no restaurants open in Caloundra as well.
Yeah.
So there was no Uber, like Uber Eats wasn't big.
and
I was like, this is
Calandra's
crazy.
probably a little bit worse as well.
It's also a sleepy town.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's what I love about it.
Yeah, we love it.
Why is it both sitting on the couch? How'd you both meet? We'll get Dan's version
You'll get
first.
Dan's
and then
version.
We'll get Jordyn's
We'll see if it
version.
aligns.
So I was studying fitness, my diploma in fitness at the time. Another job.
That's
Which you loved at the time.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun studying. So one of the women that worked there was one of my clients while I was studying, and she went to Jordyn's dance studio. So I got an invite off Kate to go and watch one of the shows, which I remember vividly. Oh gosh, I'll bring it up afterwards. It's so bad. So
he's your most honest critic.
So funny. No, not the show was bad.
the show wasn't bad. There was a moment in the
Yeah.
show. So yeah, I went to watch the show, and
It was out at Siena Catholic College, hey, back in the days when we were out at Siena Catholic College.
Yeah. And after the show, I was introduced to Jordyn, and then I came up with the idea of doing like group fitness classes for the dancers. So kind of like strength orientated Pilates. And then, so I went to the studio one time, took in some flyers and pitched the idea to Jordyn. And from there, that was when I just started doing classes around the studio. And and then that was the first time I met him.
And I remember seeing a photo of you, of Dan in the studio. You were like half the size.
He was half the size.
Not even half the size.
I
It was like this.
Yeah.
Well, I went through a pretty because when I was studying fitness at the time, I was definitely a bit heavier. I was into my training a lot. And then I remember getting sick and I lost a lot of weight. And then I kind of took it upon myself to just take time out from the gym and just look at other avenues of, I guess, as cliche as it sounds, just other fitness avenues, which the dancing kind of came into. And yeah, I just, because naturally my body shape is quite thin and skinny.
Yeah.
Like if I look back at photos of me even in high school and when I was playing hockey, I was just very, very skinny. So it took a lot for me to keep size on and keep weight on. So as soon as I stopped going to the gym, I wasn't eating as much. I just, yeah.
And it's so crazy
Dropped a lot
because
of
you
weight.
hear that all the time. You hear that like there's some people that have to keep eating and keep training and they can't keep the weight on.
Yeah.
And there's some other people like I look at a loaf of bread, I'm like, it's like
I love bread.
oh, this bread.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Everyone has their different
Metabolism,
body types,
especially
yeah.
when you get older. It
Yep.
slows right down.
Yeah.
We spoke about that a lot in our
Well, we
previous
have.
episode, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that was how I met Jordyn, and I was doing that for a few months, and yeah, I was conned into dancing.
Yeah, because did you dance before?
No.
And let me tell you, he had like out of this world natural rhythm. Because I think I pitched it to you and I said we need I really wanted to get like a Magic Mike style routine in the show, and I sort of said to him, would you be interested in doing it? And you were really good. You were just like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Like there was no hesitation. And
can I confirm, you guys weren't together at this point, hey?
no,
Yeah.
no. And then because I said, we'll give it a go. And I thought I'll just choreograph something quite simple. And he picked it up so well. Did 2 performances in that first show.
Yeah, because no, wasn't it 3? Because I
Yes.
was part of.
Yep, you were in Dixie Biscuit, you did Pony, and then you did a solo routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solo?
Yeah, he did a
First one,
solo.
straight off.
Oh
Yep.
my
Yeah.
God.
And then soon after, he just started choreographing his own thing, like routines. And that's when we put Magic Mike on the timetable. And we had a class of like 12 or 13 men that would participate and perform in our shows.
Daniel, are you going to dance in Iconic here? Get up on that stage again?
I don't know. I don't have that.
I reckon he should.
It
Why
would
don't
be
you get the whole
so
gang back
fitting
together?
and like it would be so storytelling for
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
brand and how we met and if we did
I
Pony
think so.
together.
Do Pony. Yeah.
Well, I do get this question a lot, and especially from a lot of the other girls that dance, especially the ones that were around when I was dancing. I don't know. I've definitely thought about it. It's just it's finding the time.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't want to bring any other guys back into it and teach again. Guys are just a little bit more flaky when it comes to that stuff. Like, I'll give it to you girls, like as soon as you commit with this dance stuff,
Yeah.
you just onto it non-stop. The fact that some of those girls have stuck around for this long and put up with you for this long is pretty amazing.
They deserve a medal.
Yeah. I just think it wouldn't be as easy as just finding time to dance. I'm very, very critical of myself with everything that I do. Like, I think I'm notoriously hard on other people. I'm pretty honest, but
Honesty's not being hard though. I don't think.
well, I guess it depends if you want to hear the truth
Yeah.
or not, right? Like,
Sometimes it's a bit hard. Sometimes I feel like I'm like,
I would guarantee there'll be people watching from dance that will be like, yeah, he can be a bit of an asshole sometimes. But only if
it's received that way.
yeah, but I will only ever be that way to people that I genuinely care about. So
Yeah.
I'm not doing it from a place of I'm just going to be an asshole. Just for
Yeah,
the sake
you're not
of being
gonna
an asshole.
like.
Yeah.
Your kick was a bit low. Have never
Except
met
for
you
Paige
before.
Except for Paige Fox. It always comes from a place of I care enough that I want to see you do better.
excel.
Or, yeah, exactly. And I hate wasted potential.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst thing. I can't stand it. Like, if I can see someone who could naturally be very good at something, or even if they put in a little bit more work and could be a lot better, Oh my gosh.
Training.
All I was thinking is our
attacks.
kid better be an athlete. That's all I'm thinking about right now.
I don't know. I think my training at the gym would have to change drastically. I'm a lot heavier than what I was when I was dancing.
How long has it been since you did a body roll? Actually, you do them in the kitchen often.
I do dance around naked
You,
quite a lot,
you do.
especially to Goodbye Horses. Shout out Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill.
I'm so confused. What was that? All
Yeah,
I
I
heard
don't know
was
it-
serial killers
I'm
and
confused
dancing around
as
naked.
well.
I'm like, hang on a second.
Goodbye,
What's that
horses.
movie? He's doing a. What's the one that you were watching with the Willy and
The
he was
nude
dancing?
dance, yeah,
What did we call it?
Oh, Saltburn. That was the movie, Saltburn.
What did we call it? The
Someone's told me
Willy
to watch that. What did you call it?
Willy dance?
Oh no, you said.
Helicopter?
Seen that one a few times.
Okay, let's keep this.
Okay, moving on. So I think actually this could be a moment. We need to make this a moment of, I love to make a moment of everything. Any opportunity I can make a moment.
What? Commit to it?
Yeah. Commit to it on the podcast. It's a really
Do it.
special year.
Do it,
I
Danielle.
love how you guys think there's pressure. Like, I would very happily just say no right now.
I know you will. Trust me, I know that you would. It would be
I think you should do
iconic.
it.
What if we just
You
did
know,
a little...
Okay, so the other thing as well is, and I'm not putting shit on you
Oh,
or,
thanks.
or on like the performances back then, but everything now is just so much bigger and
Oh,
better.
no, that's not
Like
putting
the-
shit. That's a good thing. The
Yeah,
brand's
I
grown
know,
so
but
much.
Hey,
Yeah.
people are sensitive.
No, you can say that. That's
Yeah.
proud growth.
Because
So-
if you were still at where you were 10
Yeah.
years
Yeah,
ago,
well, to be fair, I was looking back on some of the videos that I have in my camera roll of just before I stopped dancing,
yeah.
and it was definitely head and shoulders above of my last performance on stage. The only thing was, like I said, I was a lot smaller, and even then, looking back at those videos, I'm like, it's still nowhere near the standard of what the girls are dancing at right now.
I look back at the powerboat videos and I'm like, I'd die.
I
Yeah.
know.
I absolutely die. I
It's
was like,
crazy.
Neil, what were you
Did you
thinking?
dance? No, did you dance?
No, the setup and everything. I was like,
The setup,
the
just in
hell?
general, the growth
Like,
that we've had.
Ew, really? I was
yeah.
like fresh straight out of COVID though,
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah.
was like that. I was like, we just grabbed our hands on to whatever
Yeah.
we could get.
It's pretty amazing. And the growth amongst everyone has been insane, but you wouldn't be featuring until August, so you've got some time to do what you need to
come
do.
in for
It
like
would just
one
be,
more section.
I don't think it would be getting into shape. I think for you it would be getting used to moving at that size that you are now and how different it might feel to move. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's very different. I mean, I blew out my knee going back trying to play hockey at the
Yeah.
size that I am now. So just my body in general,
Yeah.
it would take a lot to get back to a position where I could comfortably move around on stage. And plus there's that aspect of, I would want to go out there confident, knowing that I'm dancing to a decent level. I wouldn't want to be going out there just looking for the pity cheer, like, oh yeah, Dan's back, this is awesome, let's cheer, rather than it being, oh wow, this is actually really good, let's cheer.
So it's where he's hard on himself like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And so you like seeing everyone's full potential and you are open and honest with other people. Who pushes you, or are you just enough in your own head to push yourself
that would be where I know I'm very critical of myself and I'm quite hard on myself result wise, but I'd say pushing wise, I don't really have anyone that externally pushes me that well.
Yeah.
I do. Jordan's just too supportive sometimes.
Too warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, because sometimes there'll be days where I'm at home and I'm feeling a little bit tired and I know I should go to the gym, but I'm like, I don't really want to go. And Jordan's first instinct is just stay home.
Put your feet up. Let's watch a movie.
Instead of it being, no, just go, just do it.
You'll feel better.
Like,
yeah.
just so Jordan doesn't have that.
I think
That
we've had that
type of
I
conversation.
motivate you in other ways, though. You always say that.
But that's more passive.
Yeah.
I would say you motivate me just based off of what you do in general. It has nothing really to do with how we interact.
Yeah, that's right.
I think with how successful you are or just your work ethic in general is motivating, but it's not like you're verbally motivating me.
No, I don't.
No, not at all.
Get back in bed.
So external source wise, I don't really have anyone that pushes me like that. I think I have to be quite reliant on myself, which is hard because I do feel like I'm fighting laziness a lot of the time. I definitely don't have like the work ethic that like Jordyn does, or Jordan's trainer, like one of my groomsmen, Kurt. On your trainer.
My trainer now. I always say though, no one would speak to me the way you would train. And that's God honest truth. Because everyone's always so warm and fuzzy to me. Like the only other person would be Terry because he tells me as it is.
Yeah.
You're like, pull your head in. Yeah. But the only other person is you. And I barely knew you.
Yeah. And now you've learned it's because he cares for you so much. That's why.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Though. I'm hard on people that I know that, well, like I said, like I care about, but I know that there's potential there.
Yeah.
Right? So Kurt, I would put on Jordan's level, not with success. Sorry, Kurt. Maybe one day. Just do better.
He's featured in 2 episodes.
Back to back. Everyone's going to be Googling Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt Pennington, KFP Fitness.
Yeah. But his drive, like his internal drive, like his work ethic is insane.
Yeah.
I definitely admire Kurt a lot for that. Because I do feel like I have like a bit of an internal battle of just do nothing. Who cares? Enjoy yourself. Versus no, push, try and make something of yourself. So I always feel like I'm at conflict a bit with myself, which I definitely think a lot of people are, but there's degrees to it, right? I think people who are very driven just have that innate ability to just keep going and not think about it.
But we're able to then not keep up to the fitness.
Yeah.
We're able then not... It's so easy for us to... Because I know for myself, if I throw myself into work, I can block out every single day and do... 100%. A gig every single day.
Yeah.
And just work straight through.
You start working and then you create more work for yourself.
More work for yourself. And it's productive because it's making money.
Yeah.
Never just working for the hell of it.
Yeah.
But it's just everything else goes. So I look at you and you're like, golfing, gym, work, home, family. I'm like, Jesus Christ. For myself, Jordyn, we've got 3 days that we go to the gym and then sometimes we can't make it because of work commitments and whatnot. I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But people that do it constantly.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It's just kind of like pros and cons, right? Like everyone has their...
Yeah.
Like no one's perfect, right? So everyone has their little aspects to... From an external perspective, something might look... very appealing, but then obviously there's downsides to everything, right? So no, I did play hockey. Yeah,
that's amazing. Tell me about, because I played hockey. It wasn't ice hockey; it was grass hockey.
Yeah, field hockey.
Yeah. And I loved it.
Yeah. I played. So
just Frankie in the background.
Yeah. When I met my stepdad, like I said, when I was 9, he was playing. So he played in the military and he was playing at the time and he took me along. So I started playing then. So I played since then. So I stopped playing properly when I moved over here. I think I had one season playing in Australia. But the first year coming over, trying to acclimatize was just
heat.
Brutal. After the first game I played, 10, 15 minutes, I was just destroyed. Frank, come here. I'm the only person that the dog listens to in the house.
Frank, up here.
Frank,
Up here.
what are you doing?
Quick, up here and wait there. Sit down, make good choices. Sorry. So sorry. Back to... Wait, did you say you play ice hockey?
No, grass hockey I used to play.
You did?
Yeah, I played all the way from like, what was it? Year 3?
Year 3.
All the way through to high school.
Yeah.
And then used to do lacrosse because that was a sport that we used to play in Sydney.
Yep.
And because not many people know lacrosse. Like,
No.
they're like, that's very American.
Yep.
But we loved it. Like,
There
we
you
used to
go.
play it and it was like kind of hand in hand.
Sorry,
Frankie?
we're all a little bit distracted by the dog.
Frankie.
She's misbehaving a little bit at the moment.
I'll go sort her out. Okay, Angel. So our dear friend, beautiful Carla, I think she started the whole phrase "Mr. Yoncè," and it's definitely stuck. And I think it's really sweet and cute. But something really cool happened to you at Stadium Cabaret. Do you want to share that story with everybody?
Cool is a really weird way of describing
I
it.
thought it was cool. What's your word for it?
Just day in a life, I think. No, so I was outside of, it was halfway through the show. Yeah, it was during
it was intermission.
Yeah. So I was stood there talking to Tim and Maddie. Maddie, who is now one of your teachers.
She is,
correct?
Maddie Cornwell.
And yeah, I was just talking to them both. I was talking to Tim, and one of Maddie's friends was in the group of us, but she wasn't really talking to us directly. And I just overheard her ask Maddie who I was. And Maddie turned around and said, "Oh, he's the boss." And I was like, well, I'm glad somebody finally noticed. But no, I thought it was a pretty nice little acknowledgement.
Yeah.
I think definitely the ones that have been around for a while I know us a bit more personally.
Yeah.
Probably know
Yeah.
the role I play, I guess, in the background.
Yeah, and it is a huge role. And I think that when Dan told me that story, that made me really happy because as much as it's definitely, I'm not like a one-man band. Like Dan sees every little bit of what happens with Bellesamore, the roller coaster that it is, the ups, the downs. He's there for me every night when I come home. Talks through things with me. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't.
That's another podcast.
It's a genuine, but it's having his support, and he really is the other half of the brand.
Yeah.
So to hear that comment was really cool.
Yeah, and especially
It meant a
coming
lot.
from Maddie and Tim as well. Well, obviously more so Maddie, but because I didn't know Maddie all that well at that point, because she's obviously a bit newer. She's probably one of the ones, like I said before, that she wasn't around when I was around a lot.
When you were dancing.
Yeah, so she's someone who's relatively new to me as well.
Yeah.
But I know Tim really well because he used to be one of my clients back when I used to do personal training, and it just, the way of the world just so happened that he started dating Maddie, and Maddie was one of the...
Such a small world.
Yeah,
eh?
so then we kind of like reconnected, and
Yeah.
I've been hanging out with Tim a bit more and playing a bit of golf. But yeah, Tim's a beautiful person. He's one of my favorite people.
He is. But yeah, it was really a good recognition because Dan really is the sounding board to a lot of decisions that are made. Like everything goes like to you when I come home and have to make decisions and talk about it. And
yeah, I mean, I would say lucky for a lot of people at dance, I'm not the final decision. We'll leave it at that.
we'll leave that one open.
I think the same would go with Terry.
Yeah.
Like basically he's like, so what are you playing now? I was like, I don't know. They're just hiring a stadium.
Yeah.
You must get the same, like your reaction sometimes. You must be like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of don't get too involved with the ins
Production
and outs.
side of things.
Yeah, because I know where my knowledge kind of stops. So I think it's one of those things I'd have Jordyn's been doing this for 10 years now, and it's been progressing upwards this whole time. So I definitely know that she has that ability and confidence within herself to know that, okay, if she wants to make this decision, then she's obviously ready for it.
Yeah.
There have been times where I think that she should push a little bit more, and she gets into a little comfort zone. But I mean, that's the same with everybody, right? Like it's always good to have that little nudge sometimes, and
push in the right direction.
Sometimes 100%. They listen, sometimes they don't.
I think it's because, like, Dan inspires me a lot with my New Year's resolution of, what was it? Hard conversations equal an easy life. Easy conversations equal a hard life. And it's no secret that I am a bit of a people pleaser and have never been comfortable with being uncomfortable. So it's great because when I do need to have those sorts of conversations or decision making, that's where he is the most amazing sounding board that can just help me through those. Yeah, well, I think it's just getting a more logical view of a situation.
Who taught you that though? So like with Jordyn, like she hasn't had that like that formal training as such, and like that person to coach her through it. That's why it's so easy to be a people person, because like people pleaser, because you're like, you just want everything to be smooth. You don't want to ruffle anyone's. Yeah. Like, was it the way you were brought up, or did you have bosses that taught you how to?
Well, no, I wouldn't say there was anyone in particular that taught me that way. I think it's just life experiences. Yeah. I think the more resilient you get, the more willing you are to say no. Yeah. And put your own well-being first. But I think it just comes through experiences, right? Like the more, I guess, negative things that you go through or bad things that you go through, it just builds a stronger foundation. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. As I was growing up and moving around a lot, you're forced into a lot of situations where, you just have to, you go through, exactly.
Grow stronger.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to be so careful that you don't become jaded.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I don't think it's my natural personality to be that way.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter how much I go through. I don't think I couldn't not care.
Yeah.
There's just more that I put back and more that I reserve for people that I feel like deserve it.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person who has a lot of friends. I'm the type of person who has a few very close friends. And I don't like putting in time and energy into people that like would screw me over.
Yeah.
I'm very much like, I must admit, I'm very much, depending on the situation, very much a bit of a one and done type person.
Yeah. Which is, I think, should be. I don't know.
Yeah,
that might be a bit.
But
I think we all need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree in some senses, but that's where I would say me and Jordyn clash with when she does come home and share things that are happening at dance. My instinct reaction is I'm very empathetic. If I put myself in that situation, I think that person has done something like that to me on purpose, with fully taking into consideration my feelings and how I would feel about it, and still do it. Then it's like, well, bye.
Yeah.
I don't need you around. I don't need you. Like, in my head, you're a bad apple. Do you know what I mean? So I can be at one end of the spectrum sometimes, and Jordyn, I would say, is at the other end. So that happy medium of maybe not telling everybody to fuck off is the best idea. But yeah, it's that bit of a balance. But I just think it's, life experience and going through things, and then you just learn to, pick your battles and look after number one, I guess.
All right, for those listening at home, we...
That's the weirdest intro.
Okay, so...
They might not be at home. They might be in the car.
They might be in the car. They might be...
At work, walking.
Cooking dinner.
Cooking dinner?
Anyways, we are going to play a game. If you would like to watch this, we are going to post it to our Instagram, which is Belly and the Dancer _
Love
podcast.
games.
What did you say, Daniel?
Love games.
You love games?
Never mind. Carry on.
Okay, so it's a bit of a game about who knows Jordyn better. So it's the husband versus the best friend. I have written down a few questions. Some of them are which I think are easy. Others are a bit more
Do you have to buzz in?
tricky. Yeah. What is your sounds going to be?
Oh, yeah.
Are they buzzing in?
Yep.
So it's whoever gets it first, or do they both answer so that you know if there's a right or a wrong?
Well, if, say, Daniel does that sound and he answers it incorrect, then you go to Neil.
Okay, all right. Yep.
Cool.
What's your buzzer?
Buzz. Super original.
And I'll keep a tally and
Okay.
whoever wins.
Do they get a prize?
They get a hug from Paigey Pops. Producer
can win.
Paigey.
Oh, you Neil.
Are we ready?
Ready to rumble.
Let's go.
Okay, first question. What is Jordyn's birthday?
Oh, yeah.
God.
Yep.
12th of the 8th, 1992.
Yeah,
God
that's
damn
it.
All right. Second question. What is Jordyn's phone case colour at the moment?
Buzz.
Oh, Daniel. That was a quick one.
Purple.
Oh,
Correct, Monday.
I'm going to lose my status.
I'm really good at this noise, eh?
Question 3. What is Jordyn's current profile picture?
Buzz.
Oh, Uncle Neil, you got it.
It's Jordyn and Dan.
it is on our wedding day.
Neil.
Oh, it's getting to it.
I think that's a win for me as well, though, because I'm in it.
Absolutely not.
He's in the photo.
What is Jordyn's go-to shop?
Oh,
To
yeah?
shop at? Oh,
Oh, that was pretty quick.
Uncle Neil.
Yeah, go on, you get it.
Go to shop.
To shop for clothes.
Oh, Lululemon. Not
pretty
Lululemon. Oh, because the other one on the corner as well. We've been to all of them. And Portman's. And there's so many
He's getting into
shops.
this. Okay, just one, Uncle Neil.
And then I'll have to pick my favourite between the two.
Wait, do I get to pick one as well? Because
I would say Lululemon.
Lulu's
Lululemon,
great. Don't get me
okay.
wrong. I can
Daniel?
shop at Lulu.
What would
Lana
you say?
Jane.
Oh,
That's really tricky, actually.
have you both just gone with active wear? Well, if I had to pick,
That's all you wear.
yeah, I know.
What about like David
Lululemon's my
Jones'
favourite.
Age?
Yeah, well, it's you're all
Country
wrong.
Road.
No, it's Cook Eye.
Cook Eye. Oh,
Excuse me. If I had to pick between the two active, it would be Lulu.
Lulu. Oh,
Are we
Neil,
neck
it's
and
a
neck?
tie.
It's a tie.
Oh, no.
All right. Jordyn's first pet name.
Pet name. Oh,
Wait, name for a-
But
Neil?
I remember dog Staffy Blue Grey got out. Why do I remember all these details
pet
about
name is in dog.
Yeah.
George.
No.
Oh, no, it was...
Wait, Uncle Neil's
It's
on the
going to make
on the
so
right
much
track.
sense when you guys know the answer. Do you
Do you
want
know
a
Uncle
clue?
Neil?
Do you guys
Uncle
want a clue?
why do I know all the stories about this dog and I
Well,
don't know the name?
I think it's George that you know the stories of. He was very aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the
that's-
name?
Do you want the clue? And then they can. My favorite childhood movie.
Oh, I don't even
There's
know
a
that.
dog in the movie. My favorite childhood movie.
Is it Annie?
No, you're not playing.
Well, I'm going to say
Favourite.
Lassie.
This is for the win, isn't it?
No.
Tiebreaker, but we're both tied.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Well, it's The Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
Oh, Toto.
Yeah.
Was it actually Toto? Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
Did you
I
look
think we
like Toto?
both get a point. Cause
Yeah, you
Yeah,
both
that
get a
was-
point.
Yeah, okay, let me pick the deciding question.
Well, I feel like it's 3-3 now. They both get a point
it
for
is.
that.
Yeah.
There
Did
was
he look
Toto.
like Toto?
No, not at all. It was a Staffy.
Oh, my God.
But so
hilarious.
often I was Toto and I used to drink out of a bowl when guests came over and I used to make them pat me at the door.
Lost
Daniel's
for
like, get me out
words.
of here.
I have nothing.
Okay, so
You
Okay,
come home
moving
one
on.
night and there's like
So,
Jordan
yeah.
and Frankie
Roleplay.
in the bowl.
But these are all things that every time I hear from the vast amount of girls that dance. You're so lucky. I was like, am I? She drinks out of dog bowls.
Okay, this is the deciding question. Are you
Okay.
ready? Jordyn's favourite show to watch.
Oh yeah. Seinfeld.
That's a good one.
Oh, it's not.
Buzz, Friends.
What does it?
Friends.
Seinfeld over Friends.
Daniel, you're the winner.
I was
You won.
when it wasn't an instant win. I was like, "What do you mean it's not Seinfeld?" We watch that all the time.
On repeat, yeah.
It's,
However-
The
it's
soup
recently,
kitchen.
it's recently
Yeah.
Friends at the
Not so
moment.
for you.
Also for you.
Never watched either.
Oh.
It's because
What?
you're 12.
How have you not watched Seinfeld? You need to watch it.
I know Haley
I'd-
Steinfeld.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my gosh.
Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 4 of Belly and the Dancer.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
That was
Got to
good.
learn so much more about
Yeah,
you.
you probably didn't you?
I got to learn so much about you and drinking out of a dog bowl.
Yeah, I know. I should. Do you want me to find a picture of me dressed up as Dorothy?
Can
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll send it through.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, producer Paigey, and we
welcome.
can't wait to
See the
be
edits.
in your ears in the next episode.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Bye.
Good job, team.